Namaste. I'm Rupal Shah, an assistant professor with the Department of Architecture at Sri Sri University. I'm also a life skills coach and a yoga trainer with the Art of Living. So I welcome you to the series called Health Connect, which is an initiative by the Faculty of Health and Wellness, the Department of Osteopathy at Sri Sri University. A hearty welcome to all of you. So this is the second session of the series, and today we have with us the young medicos, the young physiotherapists and osteopaths, out of which we have four of them, out of which two are pursuing osteopathy in Sri Sri University and two are alumni of Sri Sri University. We welcome you all to the session. So this series is called Health Connect and was initiated with the intention of reaching out to spread awareness and create an awareness about various aspects of health and medical science alternative practices that are being adapted worldwide. So Sri Sri University started the Department of Osteopathy in the year of 2015, and it's the first university in Asia which offers the bachelor's and master's of science in osteopathy. I've come across many people who are not really very familiar with the terminology called osteopathy. And in fact, I myself, until 5 years ago, I myself wasn't aware about this terminology osteopathy. So today we will have an engaging interaction with these young guns, the young osteopaths, who have actually decided to integrate their domain skills, which is not only osteopathy but physiotherapy as well. And their intention, of course, is to bring good health in people's lives. So we have with us Ms. Gayatri Asavle, Dr. Nikita Mirajkar, Dr. Shruti Seth, and Dr. Dhwani Sidhpura. So I would like to start off with Dr. Nikita Mirajkar first. So Nikita Mirajkar is a physiotherapist, a certified orthopedic manual therapist, and is currently pursuing her master's from Sri Sri University in osteopathy. So her passion for healthy living and wanting to more about the human body dynamics brought her to SSU. So starting with her first, my first question to you goes out to you. So Dr. Nikita, what is the difference between osteopathy and physiotherapy? Both are manual treatments. Physiotherapy is quite familiar and people know about it. And if I'm not wrong, at one point or the other, they must have taken this treatment to cure themselves. And it works at the manual level, the hand level. So what is the actual difference between osteopathy and physiotherapy? Could you throw some more light on that, please?
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So, being a physiotherapist and a certified manual therapist, and also now being an osteopathy student, I would definitely say that osteopathy holds its own stand in the field of manual therapy. Manual therapy, all the manual therapies are, they have actually the same base. They have the similar base of, finding the movement, restoring the movement, restoring the health, restoring the functions of the body. Physiotherapy is more of like rehabilitation. It is reducing the joint stiffness, reducing the muscle stiffness, increasing the strength of the muscle, improving the joint play, and restoring all of these with exercises. And they also have efficient modalities, pain relief modalities. So this all comes in their protocol. On the other hand, osteopathy is a very integrated approach, very holistic approach in which we use no modalities. It is completely hand based on palpation and perception, uh, obviously considering the anatomy and physiology of the body. We examine the patient from head to toe. So it is a whole approach, whole treatment. And in that, we don't just focus on one part of the body, we treat body as a whole. And we don't just focus on the presenting symptom. We find the root cause. We go to the root cause. So if anybody is coming to any manual therapist, they come with a very common uh, this symptom, which is pain and stiffness. So is that pain and stiffness very localized? It is because of any trauma which has caused a localized inflammation, or is the cause there? Or if there is no trauma, but the cause is somewhere else, still that part is paining, but there is no trauma, still it is giving some problem. So finding out from where it is coming, whether it is coming from the related organs or it is coming from any craniosacral system, finding the root cause and treating is, I think that makes osteopathy unique in itself.
So that's like treating from the roots, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, doctor.
finding out the root from where it is coming and releasing the root so that the health flows.
Right. So in physiotherapy, actually, like you mentioned, so it's related to the local part, and then you treat actually the local part of the body.
It is more of musculoskeletal, I would say. Physiotherapy point of view is more of musculoskeletal, but in osteopathy, we integrate the three systems of the body. That is musculoskeletal, the visceral, that is the organs, and the craniosacral. That includes the cranial bones, the structures inside it, and the spine. So we interlink all the structures, examine it throughout, and find the root cause and treat it. So it
So
cannot be, it is not always that the cause is localized. It can be due to some other problem which is giving an impact on that part.
so in doing so, then many other problems also must be getting cured because you're going to the depth of it, isn't it?
Yes, it is a complete holistic approach. So maybe that one cause can be giving multiple problems. So finding the right cause and treating it can, release and uh, relieve you from many symptoms.
Yeah, that's wonderful to know. So, what are all the different conditions that we deal with, the human deals with? Could you speak
Yeah.
more about
So
that?
as I said, yeah. So as I said, in osteopathy, we treat patient as a whole. So we examine all the three systems and we interlink it and we find out the problem. So we deal with all types of joint pains, muscle restrictions, muscle pain, any type of pain. We deal with migraine, headache, sinusitis, vertigo problems, cervical spondylitis, lumbar spondylitis, disc prolapse. We deal with digestive conditions also, as we consider organs also as a part of the body, and it can give impact on other body parts. So digestive problems like acidity, indigestion, constipation, gas issues, also hormonal issues like thyroid problems, menstrual problems, and immunity related issues, post traumatic cases, post surgical cases. We also see pediatric cases in which we see like cases like cerebral palsy, autism, ADHD, developmental delays, many such cases.
Thank you.
So I would want to share one experience actually here.
Sure.
Uh, so when I was in SSU, I was practicing there, and there was one MBA student who came to me, and she came with a complaint of delayed menses, delayed periods from a quite a long time. So when I took a detailed history of her, I came to know that she had started playing sports very recently, and she had multiple falls in that activity. So when I checked her, I examined her, I found out some restrictions in her neck and base of the skull, and also some restriction in her pelvis and the tailbone. So I treated her. I released those restrictions here in the neck and the spine and the base of the spine, and I harmonized the system. And the same night, after the session, the same night at 2 a.m., she dropped me a message on WhatsApp saying that she got her periods. So
Oh,
this was,
wonderful.
yeah, it was a very quick
Wonderful.
reaction by the body. Since we release all the restriction, what was blocking the health, the restrictions release and the health flows immediately.
Wonderful. That's wonderful to know. So, thank you, Dr. Nikita. Thank you so much. So, we will now move on to Dr. Shruti. Yeah. Dr. Shruti said, Dr. Shruti Seth is a physiotherapist and the alumnus of Sri Sri University. She is currently pursuing her diploma in osteopathy manual practice from Canada. And she is our first alumni who is established in Singapore as a director and osteopath at Osteopathy Healthcare Singapore. So welcome, Shruti, and thank you for coming on the session. It's nice to see our alumnus here. So Shruti, I have a question for you, which is, osteopathy is mostly treated by the hands. So very curious to know that how you can find out the dysfunction in the body just with the help of the hands without using any equipments or tools.
Right, right. So, hands, they're the most sensitive part of the body. So, especially we say the fingertips, we have a lot of sensory neurons present here. So, I remember in our first year, majorly part of our studies was mostly dedicated towards palpation. Palpating each and every layer of our skin, fascia, then the fat layer, the muscles, the nerve ending, the blood, vessels, and the bones. So we were asked to go out in the nature and feel the bark of the tree, the leaves, the static and mobile objects from the table chair to finding a single standard hair in the book with the eyes closed. Mastering all the palpation, we understood one thing that every object has a rhythm and a life force within. So after getting thoroughly trained here in osteopathy, we were able to find out the anatomical dysfunctions in the body. Now, there are certain rhythms and within the organs, within the fascia, within the bones, within the muscles. So if a particular, there's a restriction in a particular organ or in a particular part of the body, we were able to diagnose it with our hands by feeling the rhythm, by feeling the movement of that particular part of the body. And also there's a fascia called as thin wrap which surrounds the whole body, which connects and covers the whole body. So like in physiotherapy also, we were practicing palpation. It's a manual therapy. So in physiotherapy, I remember the practice that we did, it was completely a generic approach. A mobilization or manipulation or palpation of specific bones, towards the range of motion, or moving certain vertebra, or listening to the sounds of the lungs. But in osteopathy, it's a very gentle and deep sense of perception, wherein you find out the diagnosis and treat the whole body as one unit.
That's really good to know. So my second question to you is, being the first international osteopath alumni from SSU, how the masters in osteopathy has enhanced your practices in Singapore?
Yeah. So, after coming here to Singapore, I thought of doing an internship under a trained osteopath here, to know how the practice here is in Singapore, or if I need to acquire more skills. So after doing that, after gaining some internship experience, I started seeing patients here. So I remember one of my patient, a lady who came to me with a complaint of fibromyalgia. So after taking few sessions, one fine day she told to me, the previous osteopath to whom I visited, she had taken like all sort of therapies before and then finally come to me as a last hope. So she told me that before visiting the previous osteopath, he used to just crack my spine, just work on the bones or on the spine or on the TNJ aspect. But your approach is very different. After just few sessions, I'm feeling a lot of relief. So that was the moment I realized, I owe my practice to SSU, to all the teachers who have come from different parts of the countries, from UK, Argentina, USA, Canada, and given the best of the knowledge from the West. So, learning from the best and following the principles of osteopathy from the founder 80 still following his principles and working on those lines, and not just physically on the musculoskeletal aspect, not just cracking the bones or popping the spine or no fixing it, but to working as an integrated whole approach. So I think I'll be ever grateful to SSU and all the teachers for giving us such a superior quality of education.
That's really nice to know that, yeah, Sri Sri University does invite a lot of faculties from Europe and USA who've had expertise. In fact, we've had faculties who are like at the age of 80, 70, and it's amazing to know how these faculties give their knowledge, really. I mean, it's really nice to know, fascinating. So thank you so much, Shruti. Thank you very much for being here, coming here. Yeah, so more questions will come in. I will take questions from others, answers from others. Thank you. So now we have Dr. Dhwani Sithpura. She did her bachelor's in physiotherapy from Mumbai and is now currently in final semesters of master's in osteopathy at Sri Sri University. Her vision is to make people aware about the inherent intelligence of the human body and how honoring it can help one to eliminate the root cause of the problems and have healthy mind, body, and soul. So Dhwani, my question to you is, like I said, even I was not aware about this terminology called osteopathy until 5 years ago. And more so, like being in SSU since 6 years and having met so many faculties who come from abroad. And spending time with all of you all, obviously, I'm getting to know more and more about osteopathy and have been intrigued to know more about this wonderful science. So what do you think, how open Indians are for this osteopathy treatment?
So firstly, explaining the basic osteopathic principles to Indian population, that is the structure and function are interdependent. Body is a whole unit, the self-healing mechanism of the body, and the rule of circulation is supreme. Also telling them about the facts that osteopathy has no medicine and zero side effects. It has made them realize that osteopathy is a complete science in itself. And being still just a student of final semester, I have now almost treated more than 350 cases, which include students, professors, doctors, businessmen, celebrities, and also some ministers. And recently, Sri Sri University had also conducted a osteopathy camp in Jarsudda, wherein me, along with Dr. Nikita and my batchmates, treated almost 280 patients, and the results were just wonderful. So I would say that Indians are really becoming more and more receptive. They are more respecting the osteopathy treatment, and it is just spreading worldwide just with the word of mouth.
That's really great to know. So you told about these camps that you do in osteopathy. So is there a way where people get to know about these camps, where they can, get information about these camps that you guys are doing?
Yeah.
It's
So
such an
it is.
amazing way to reach out to people.
Yeah. So it is basically the camps which were conducted by Sri Sri University. They do promotions a lot on their Facebook page, on their Instagram page, and everywhere that it do reaches many number of people, and through which we got opportunity to treat 280 patients, and it is a very huge opportunity which has just increased the awareness of osteopathy.
Great to know. So my second question to you, what are your views in terms of approaching a patient in osteopathy in comparison to physiotherapy?
Okay. So I would like to answer this question with the help of an example. So if a person has back pain, he or she can go both to a physiotherapist or an osteopath. Now, first, I would tell what will be the approach of a physiotherapist. The physiotherapy approach will be taking the basic history, diagnosing and examining through the help of the musculoskeletal system, and then treating it, which would include initially the equipments or modalities like ultrasound, electric muscle stimulator, etc. And then they would give some stretching and strengthening exercises. And lastly, a home-based exercise program with some advice of do's and don'ts, which will all aim to improve the function of that particular part. So this would entirely be a physiotherapy approach. Now, coming on to an osteopathic approach, it will be initially a basic history wherein we focus on the birth history, in utero history, history of sleep, gastrointestinal tract history, and everything, each and every history from the birth till the present age of the person. And then we would palpate and then examine and diagnose, integrating the three primary systems of the body, that is the musculoskeletal system, visceral system, the craniosacral system. And then we will get a diagnosis by integrating the three systems. And the treatment, osteopathic treatment is a deep and subtle approach with gentle manipulation techniques, manipulating bones, muscles, organs, fascia, etc. Sometimes the treatment also includes technique like in-depth listening of the tissues and flow of the fluids, which will all aim to find out and eliminate the root cause of a patient's symptom or pathology. So these are the basic difference between an approach of a physiotherapist and an osteopath.
Thank you, Dwani. That's really nice to know. So thank you for being here. More questions to you later. So now we have with us Dr. Gayatri Asavle. Gayatri Asavle is here. Yeah. So Gayatri Asavle is a physiotherapist. She's also pursued Masters of Osteopathy from the Pioneer batch in Sri Sri University. She has treated patients for more than 2 years with different health conditions from local to international, including village, house workers, businessmen, celebrities, from newborn baby to a person on deathbed. She loves to travel for osteopathy, and she's also a guest faculty at the university. She believes osteopathy is a boon for healthcare system. So welcome, Gayatri. Gayatri, my question to you is that what difference it is to learn osteopathy as a full-time contact course in a university. Of course, Sri Sri University is the only university which is offering currently in Asia. I'm not aware if any other university is now offering. It was the first one to offer in 2015. So what is the difference of doing it as a contact course, full-time contact course, rather than doing it as a certification or as a workshop?
So nowadays, osteopathy, like across the world, people are well known in the Western side. So people, just to know about, because of its effects, they do certification course, like an 8-day module course or online course, or maybe 4-day certified course. So what I observed that when you do any course, it is not only about osteopathy, you take any course. When you do full-time campus-based, where you have seniors, your faculties who are more than 30 years, 40 years, 20 years experience across the globe, who are there to teach you and to assist you, so you can learn and master that course in depth. Otherwise, what you learn in certified courses or those who we do in the online courses, yeah, they are effective. It is not that they are not effective. They are definitely effective. It is the need of the time that people need to get updated with their knowledge. But it is limited to the technique. It is limited to the certain understanding of the particular subject. For example, they may teach you only about the spine. They may teach you only about the lower limb or only about the viscera. But when you study for 4 years bachelor's or a 2 years master's course, you will understand that how you integrate the whole system. Okay, you never get a case like, okay, only the knee case, or you never get a case only a shoulder pain. When you study a full-time course, you will understand that the knee pain can be coming from the spine. It can be coming from the organs. So that integrated approach and that depth understanding that you can learn from full-time campus-based course, which is definitely give you a professional confidence whenever you go and approach patients, which will definitely give a very set edge to your own understanding of any subject. So this is like the basic difference. And I think you can take not only osteopathy, you can take any, even in the cooking, gardening, any course you take. The more you master anything, the more it will add value to your self and also value to the person that you're going to treat. They will have, it is like they are in a safe hands.
Thank you, Gayatri.
Yeah.
Thank you for throwing light on that. Gayatri, you know, I'm a professor here, assistant professor, and I teach architecture here. And we come across many parents. They interact with us, they talk to us. And, you know, before admitting their child, they really want to know about what is the career prospect. You know, that's a concern that every parent has and even a student has. So for osteopathy being a field which is getting familiar now, people are getting to know about it more and more now. So what is the prospect? How do you see the career of osteopathy and how it has made a difference and impacted your personality?
Yeah, so being from the first pioneer batch, you know, we were always very anxious that how we will start this thing, okay, how we will go out. And people were not about what is osteopathy in India. They used to Google it, okay, it is just some manipulation and you do some crack on the spine. It is some quackery. You know, they used to Google it and they used to come up with these questions to us. It is really effective. It is really like how through hands. So what I have experienced with my practice of about 2 years or more than 2 years, that nowadays, not only in India, all across the globe, people are more aware about their health, about their lifestyle, the way they want to conduct and carry their health, about the nutrition-based holistic approach. So no one really want to depend upon just pills and some external stimulants for their health. They really want health from within, and not only health about the physical well-being, but also about the emotional, spiritual aspect, even their personal life, because that is how what the person is made up of. So when we started, it is not only my experience, even my fellow batchmates, my juniors, even the students who are also learning in Bachelor of Osteopathy, even they are experiencing that just word of mouth, you know, just word of mouth and the effects and how like, people are getting results through only one session of osteopathy, that is spreading like amazing. And we have alumni who are practicing in hospitals. We have alumni who have opened their own clinics. Then like I love to travel, there are people who have joined as a faculty. So it is like a open field that is there in front of you. You know, those who are very interested to come and join osteopathy, whether you are from 12th science background, you want to pursue as a bachelor course, or you are from medical, MBBS, physio, Ayurvedic background, and you want to pursue as a master's course of osteopathy for 2 years. It is, I will always see that it is like an open field for you. It is like you can explore your own strength, you can explore your own weaknesses, and you can educate and make people aware about its health benefits and how through osteopathy you can integrate all three structures. For example, you can integrate your cranial, visceral, and your all structured systems together, and then give that health to that one person. It is not that the person is having low back pain. It can be like we have found out that people with poor posture, they were having low back pain, or people with they had a fault 10 years back on head and they had a low back pain. So these are very interesting facts that we discovered in through osteopathy, and it's this uniqueness makes like I can say it is an amazing thing that if you pursue this as a career, you won't look back and you won't regret.
Thank you, Gayatri, for answering that question. So you said that health is about inner being also. So my question to you is again, if you could elaborate more on what is health according to you?
Yeah. So, you know, health, if you see, when you are happy from inside, that is health. It is not only about your physical well-being. If you see, sometimes you are very healthy, okay, your all medical reports are fine, but you experience neck pain or back pain. And then when we as an osteopath, we go to the depth of the history, we come to know that, okay, they were having some emotional issues or some different issues in their own work life or professional personal life. So even we address that. So I have understood with my own practice that health is being in nature, you're happy, you're healthy in all aspects. It is your, you feel happy from inside, you feel centeredness from inside. It is also that how quickly you recover. Okay, for example, a person, two people who are like the same age, maybe 25-year age of two girls, same background, maybe they are from same city, same, maybe we can take Mumbai, same condition, but one person is not emotionally stable, or and otherwise, or maybe she is nutritional deficit, so she may take a longer time to recover. So we also consider this. So according to me, the health is overall the well-being of a human being. It is like your own being, how as a being you're healthy. That is health for me.
Nice to know that. Thank you. So moving on to Dr. Nikita. So Dr. Nikita, what is health according to you?
So same as Dr. Gayatri, she mentioned that for me, health also is the happiness what you pursue. It is not just mere absence of disease. It is a combination, balanced state, a balanced combination of your physical state, your mental state, and your even spiritual aspect, which plays a very important role. So I feel you are only healthy when you are a balanced person. That is according to me what health is.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Nikita. Dr. Shruti. So Dr. Shruti, what is health according to you?
Yeah, so coming from the osteopathy background, physiotherapy background, so health is actually a balanced state of mind, your social well-being, your physical aspect. As Dr. Gayatri and Dr. Nikita said, no, it's an expression of joy, a calm and happy, peaceful mind, wherein it is just not absence of disease or suffering, wherein a patient comes or somebody comes and he has some disease or he has some pain in the body. So it is just not referring to a disease, but overall how you're functioning as a whole unit at your personal emotional level, how you're able to maintain the state and calm peace of mind. So it's overall, I can say it's a balance between your physical, psychological, and social well-being.
Thank you. Dr. Dwani?
Yeah, so as mentioned by my all the colleagues, they have rightly said everything about health. But I would like to add one more thing that for me, health is all about nature. The nature inside the body and the nature outside the body. It is all about understanding that how honoring and respecting both the natures which are inside and outside the body can help attain individual a healthy mind, body, and soul.
Wow, that was wonderful. That was wonderfully put up. So my question to all of you for today's session is, all of you all are physiotherapists, yeah? So you all have the domain of both physiotherapy and osteopathy. So how do you see the integration of both in the healthcare systems as a practice? How can you enhance? So starting with Dr. Gayatri.
Yeah. So if you see nowadays, people are more want to approach integrated approach for their health. It is not they go to the dietitian, they go to do some exercise, they also consult the meditation teacher, also osteopath or physician or etc. Even Ayurvedic doctor. So what I have understood that across the globe, people are depending upon holistic approach where every people from healthcare background are working as a team. It is not that it is not only my responsibility to take care of that person's well-being. If that person needs some surgical intervention, I will definitely refer that patient to surgery. If that person definitely needs some Ayurvedic Panchkarma sessions, I will definitely refer that patient to Panchkarma. And even come to the physiotherapy. Even, for example, patient is pain-free, the condition is treated and everything is fine, I will still recommend patient to the go and see a physiotherapist so they can maintain through that exercise therapy protocol. And as physio is not only depend upon the musculoskeletal, it is also neuro conditions, then cardiorespiratory conditions, ICU patients, neonates. So different. Even the physiotherapy have a different specialization. So I will definitely send that conditions, for example, in neuroparaplegic conditions. We as an osteopath, we treat to improve their nerve functions, to improve their rigidity or facility of the muscle tone and cranium bones. So that gives very amazing results for their physiotherapy sessions. Even like we get a feedback from physios that after osteopathy session, they are responding much more to the exercise program that the person is following. So I think this is how, as a society and also from a healthcare background, we should focus on one particular person, not that, okay, this person is superior, this healthcare is inferior. It is not that. We all are in a one team working for the beneficial and benefit of that particular person, for the family and for the entire society. So this is approach, this is how we can integrate the whole system and we can function well for a healthy and happy society and well-being.
Thank you, Gayatri. Dr. Nikita, what would
Yes.
be your take on that?
Yes, even I would say that physiotherapy is definitely my foundation, but adding osteopathy to it has, enhanced my skills in my treatment. I started seeing, body as a whole unit, and I started integrating systems, and I started uh, treating as a holistic approach. So definitely, it has enhanced my skills treating the patient, and also, it gives me a sense of satisfaction when I give a proper, full treatment to them, and I feel that they are recovering and their happiness and their feedback. It is really amazing to see that. So I would really say that osteopathy has definitely enhanced my skills as a physiotherapist and as a manual therapist.
Great to know. Nice to know, Dr. Nikita. Dr. Shruti.
Yeah, so coming from the background of physiotherapy and having a very detailed knowledge on the anatomy, physiology, how the biomechanics of the body work, when performing a certain assessment on the patient by doing orthopedic test or referring a patient to a physiotherapist for strengthening exercises, stretching exercises. So all this practice of physiotherapy, I have still included in my osteopathy practice. So I believe that somewhere, physiotherapy has become a very strong base in my practice and it has enhanced my practice in a way. So definitely osteopathy as a whole, somewhere it cannot deal with acute cases, like emergency accident cases, wherein allopaths are the one who are the better medical doctors for it. So here, as an osteopath, we take the whole healthcare system as one. It's an integrated approach wherein we respect all the medical fields and when we work with them together. Thank you.
Thank you. Shruti. Dhwani. Yeah, Dr. Dhwani.
Yeah. So if like osteopathy and physiotherapy has to be integrated, yes, of course. My interest would be first giving a osteopathic treatment since it is health from within and very deep and gentle approach, and then keeping the patient on physiotherapy protocol for strengthening their system. So this is how osteopathy and physiotherapy are interdependent on each other. They both go hand in hand. So if this is integrated and if we see the health approach the health as a integrated system, then it will really benefit the patient as well as the complete healthcare system.
Thank you. So now I would like to ask you all, you treated many patients during your course of time while studying here, and two of you all out in the world practicing, and Shruti is now pursuing further studies. So you must have, I'm sure, had some amazing experiences while treating your patients, some out of the box experience for them also and for you also. So would any one of you like to share about it? You could unmute yourself and share about that
I can share
experience.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a girl patient of 19-year-old, and by seeing her history and taking her history, she had a symptom that she gets scissors, absent scissors, or fits, we can say in a layman term. So, and she was not getting her menstrual cycle and very abnormal hormonal issues since a quite long 6, 7 years. So, after examining her and everything, I found out that there is some kind of dysfunctions in her cranial system. And she also shared that 6 or 7 years back, she got wet in the rain, after which she had fever and she was completely in the ICU for a long period of time, because of which her entire system got disturbed. And examining her through the osteopathic approach, I found out the dysfunction in cranium. And when I gave the session, I was amazed that just after one session, her fits and the scissors were absolutely gone. She had a complaint of scissors every alternative day. She would just say that I get scissors attack every alternative day, and it is very difficult for me. I have taken all kind of treatment approaches, but it is not helping. But osteopathy really helped, and just after giving one session, she was rid of her scissor complaint. And yes, she had to be on follow-up treatment she had to take. But yes, this was a very wonderful case which I really admire.
Wow, that's amazing to know. That's really amazing to know without any medicine or without any chemicals. I mean, this got treated. Really wonderful. Anybody else who would like to share your experience? Shruti, yeah, go on. Yeah,
So I
Shruti.
remember I had treated once a cancer patient, a female lady, somewhere around 75 years, and she had a complaint of ovarian cancer. She was at the third stage, and when I approached
Ovarian
her,
cancer.
ovarian cancer, yeah.
Okay.
And when I approached her, she was completely bedridden. She was so thin, she was not eating at all, she was not able to move her limbs, not even raise her legs and all. Totally, in a very fragile state. And so she was not on chemotherapy that time because she had this feeling that it will only deteriorate her situation more. So she was completely against taking medicines for the same. So when I approached her and I understood the case history, so her history was that many years back, when she got married to her husband, and there was a lot of emotional chaos between both of them. There were a lot of relationship issues, and the husband left her and went to Dubai. So all the pleasures that a married woman should enjoy in her life, somewhere she was not able to enjoy it. So taking all the responsibility. So all these emotions, at least it's an integral part of our life. Emotions, we cannot live without them. It's a major mind plays a very important role in our life. So taking all the responsibilities of the children and the taking jobs and all, there was a lot of restriction that developed in the pelvis area. She started having low abdominal pain. So at that time, there was no diagnosis or no, even she did not do any scans. So after 25 years, she was now diagnosed with cancer in the ovary area, the same area where she used to have pain somewhere back 25 years. So after taking the history and after palpating with my hands, when I kept my hands on the uterus, ovaries, I checked her tailbone and sacrum, all the pelvic area was blocked. Everything was like in tension. It's like holding up something. So after releasing that part, after releasing the whole spine and the back of the head, immediately after 3 sessions, she was able to stand up. The
Wow.
lady who was bedridden since 6 months, was not able to move, was not able to eat anything, was all of a sudden she was feeling alive inside her. So working
Wow.
on the anatomical structures, even combining the emotional aspect to it, when I explained to her that if you let go, whatever grudges that you have with your husband or whatever trauma, because it's emotional trauma, no? If you let go, this will help your body to recover more. Because she had this strong feeling that she wants to live. She doesn't want to let go. She doesn't want to give up this birth. So after a certain time, and then she went to the doctor, she did her scannings. You won't believe the tumor size has already decreased.
Wow.
Even all doctors were amazed that how it is possible without chemotherapy. So that's when that was my first cancer patient when I had approached. So I felt that there are so many, it's a very vast knowledge. I mean, there are many aspects which are unexplored in osteopathy. It's a very great field with so much of knowledge and so much of depth in it. So I'm sure all of us have this experience, wonderful experiences to share of the patients.
Wow, that's amazing to know that such, I mean, what to say, such a disease like cancer could be treated. It's amazing to know. And just with the hands, it's amazing. Dr. Nikita, would you like to share any of your such experience?
Yeah, when I was at home last year for my vacation, that time one patient had come to me. She just delivered a baby, and as soon as she delivered the baby, she started showing symptoms of depression, which is a very common thing nowadays. It is a very common condition, that postpartum depression we call it. Many ladies go through it. So she started showing that depression, and then whenever she used to see her child, she used to feel very angry, not feeling like grabbing the child. And she started developing restrictions, at her neck, and she had a lot of pain moving her neck, a lot of pain. She was not able to even move much. So when she came to me, she showed me her movement, and she was like this. She was not able to move her neck separately. So when I checked her, I saw her history. I asked her. So even she had the same aspect. She had went through, when she was pregnant. She had went through a very emotional trauma. So she lost her real brother in accident, and because of which her mother went into depression. And she was the only child with a baby, and she had to become the head of the family. So that responsibility got her down. And as soon as she delivered the baby, she went into depression, and those symptoms started showing it on the body. So when I started treating her, I knew that okay, I have to release this muscle, I have to release this, I have to do work on the neck and back. I knew that, but there was one aspect that I had to also consider, that talking to her during the session, because it was very important for her to tell me what is going on in her system. So so the first session, second session, I started talking to her. She started releasing. There were times that she during the session when we both were quiet, she started crying. So that was the sense of release she felt. And as soon as she cried it out, her neck started releasing, and her restrictions went off. So in like 3 sessions, we generally don't give sessions very often. We give a gap, some gap in between, because body has to repair. We have to give some time for body to repair. So the treatment went for like 1.5 months, 2 months, and I gave her 3 sessions. After 3 sessions, for the first time, she picked her child with love, and she looked at the child and she told me. She came to the session and she told me, for the first time I saw my child, and for past 2 months I was not able to see him because I was so depressed. And in
Wow.
3 sessions, her pain also went. She came out of that trauma, and her social life also changed. So that was one wonderful experience I got from this approach.
Wow, it's so nice to hear all this. Really, I mean, without any medicine, having such effects is amazing to know. Yeah, Dr. Gayatri, waiting to hear your experience.
Yeah, so I just want to say, so there was one lady during her post-menopause duration. She had a lot of blood clots, and so she went to examine to a gynecologist, and she came to know that she have a fatty liver, and endometriosis, and fibroids in the uterus area. So they said that it is such a huge that you immediately have to go for operation, and you have to, in India it is very common. The doctor advised that you have to remove your uterus completely. So she came to me for osteopathy. She said, I don't want to go for a surgery. I want to keep my organ. So through the history, I came to know that the lady underwent 3 abortions when after her marriage, and which was one of the very key history for us as an osteopath, because whenever anything that abortion or during pregnancy, a lot of anatomical and physiological changes, also hormonal changes that happens in our entire system. endocrine system gets involved, anatomical structures get involved, our pelvic diaphragm gets involved. So just working on all this area during around 3-4 sessions with the duration of interval of around 10 to 15 days in between each session, her fatty liver went away, and then she again went for her UST, and she again consulted her doctor, and they said that it's really a miracle that you really don't have to opt for surgery. Even if you go to the moon, that was a word of a doctor, if you go to the moon, there also you don't have to go for a surgery. You can actually be yeah, and then that was really amazing, like how we can also avoid surgeries in such cases. So that was like, there are a lot of, but this was also one of the very key experience that a patient experienced through osteopathy.
Thank you. Thank you, Gayatri, for sharing such an experience with us. So my last question to all of you all is, what is your one thing that you would like to tell the viewers here who are viewing this session, just in a sentence or a two, starting with Gayatri?
Yeah, so I can say that osteopathy, if you have experienced this, then please spread it across your community. And if you haven't experienced this, please visit your near or dear osteopath. You can visit to Sri Sri University web page. Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Nikita.
So even as a student, I would say that osteopathy will be in a lot of scope in near future, because treating one patient, it is being spread so much. So yeah, definitely it is going to be a busy life ahead, and do come experience it. It is something you should experience, and find help in yourself.
Shruti.
I feel osteopathy will be surely the future medicine, because a lot of people, they don't want to pop the pill. Everybody is moving towards holistic approach, towards natural remedies. So I would just say that if those who have not experienced osteopathy, grab some osteopath near who is staying nearby you, take one session, and also the candidates, who has done their bachelor's in a medical background, they can pursue their master's, which is a 2-year course. And for the students who have completed the 12th, biology, chemistry, and physics, they can opt for their bachelor's program. So please go for it. So it's totally a win-win situation.
Thank you. Dr. Dwani.
Yeah, so as mentioned by all, I would like to say if anyone is opting for osteopathy as a career option, it is just going to be the boon to the healthcare system, and without you will not regret in the future. So just opt for it, and it's just going to be the blessing to be an osteopath.
Thank you, Dwani. So thank you all the panel members for being here. It was a delight to interact with you all. See you all again. Really a true delight. Thank you so much. So I would like to iterate a few things which Pujya Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Ji, who is the founder of Sri Sri University, had mentioned in an integrated health summit. He said, an integrated system is the need of the hour. The behavioral patterns, state of mind, and meditation should be a part of our everyday life. Holistic well-being is the need of the hour today, and it is of utmost importance to provide such treatments to help patients prevent lifestyle diseases and lead a healthy life. So osteopathy, yes, indeed, is one of the alternative practices. You've heard from all of them here, the panel members. Thank you for being here, watching out this space. Yeah. And watch out this space for more series, which the Faculty of Health and Wellness will be taking more initiatives and will be hosting more series on this in future. Thank you so much for being here. And any more information, you could reach out to us, write to us, and we could also give you numbers of these osteopaths for more information. Thank you so much. Thank you.